walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
My head up.
I'm South Carolina, so I just.
gotta be you.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Mars?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
Gotta be me and gotta be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
letting His glory shine through. Gotta be you, gotta be me, gotta be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. All right.
Good morning.
Welcome, the one and only Sherretta. What are you all happy for early in the morning?
I'm always happy in the morning. This is part of my routine.
Sherretta Peterson,
Good
how are
morning.
you today?
I'm doing well, blessed. I am
Where you
doing
from,
great.
Sherretta?
Ready for the day. I am from Baltimore. I am an around the way girl.
You ain't from Baltimore.
grew-
I didn't have
I
people
am.
say I'm from Baltimore. I say, where you live at? Well, actually, I live in Lockhearn, or actually, I live just south of Towson. Where are you from in Baltimore?
I am from East Baltimore. I grew up near Morgan, and I also have strong roots. My grandparents lived at Harford Road and the Alameda. So
Oh my
I am-
God, not Harford Road.
Yes. Harford Road and the Alameda is where I was born and raised. And my mom later moved over to the Loch Raven area.
Harford Road. Them cats will pop that iron over on Harford Road.
Yes,
You better know what you're doing over there.
East Side.
Uh-oh, they flashing gang signs. Sherretta Peterson, CSE, is a visionary leader with a steadfast commitment to strategic excellence, innovation, and community empowerment. With over 2 decades of experience, and she looks rather young for 2 decades of experience, but nonetheless, in finance, technology, and strategic planning, she has helped organizations nationwide, straight out of East Baltimore. You hear it?
Yes, sometimes
Achieve
globally, depending on the reach of
sustainable
my
growth
clients.
and operational excellence. That sounds good. But what is that? What does all of that mean?
So that's helping companies find their why, understanding why they're doing this work, understanding who they're doing it for, and revealing the secret sauce. Doni, do you know what the secret sauce is?
Love.
Oh, yes. You know, it is love. And people, they choose something else over love. What is it?
Oh, money, greed,
Peace,
things.
peace, peace, peace. They choose peace over love. So if you're in a job and you love the work, but you don't have peace there, you're going to find something that brings you peace, something that leads you to entrepreneurship. So I help organizations find that peace and that secret sauce to make it possible.
Now, Sherretta, I guess I'm getting old because you had to remind me. We met when I first started my company, and I'm sure it was the tobacco contract.
Yes.
The tobacco
Yes, it
contract 21st Century Group, Adrian Harpool, somewhere around Baltimore, Fayette and Charles, Baltimore and Charles.
Yes.
We were working for
The great,
Adrian Harpool. You
the
told
great
me
Adrian Harpool. Yes.
the great. And then Edwin Avent, the great Edwin Avent.
The great Edwin Avent, yes, who founded Heart and Soul magazine.
Tell me about the influence of people like that in your life here in Baltimore. Because Baltimore, we get a bad rap.
We get a bad rap, but we have grit. And grit takes you a long way. These two gentlemen, they saw the potential in me, and I thank them for that. And one of them once told me that I was his most underutilized asset. And I didn't know exactly what that meant at that time, because people see potential in you before you see it in yourself. And later, it always stuck with me. And I always bring my best to every opportunity, every project, every job, everything that I do. I bring my best.
When's the last time you worked for somebody?
Oh, so my last role was a principal in an accounting firm where I led practice development. We went into new markets, we increased revenue, and hired lots of people in the process. So creating jobs is one of my passions, workforce development. I believe strongly in that. I enjoyed that role. I worked for someone that I worked for many years before. So this was my second go around with this team, and it was amazing. I enjoyed it, learned so much about myself, but I knew that there was a deeper calling for me.
And what was that?
To help other companies find that secret sauce that I keep telling you about. Understanding what's the things that you do well, and then circling the things that you do better than anyone else. Finding that secret sauce and maximizing it in the market.
How's that work for you?
That works really well. It's something that you want to be high tech, high value. You want to be high touch in your organizations. You want to make sure you have that plan to implement the strategic plan that we work on every year. That's something that I help companies do annually, and I check in monthly just to see how they're going, make sure they're hitting those goals and those metrics, and keeping them to, getting to the finish line. That's the important part. Can you finish? Can you execute on that strategic plan? Sometimes we do it and we put it on the shelf, but I'm the one that holds them accountable and make sure that they meet those goals.
So don't let the smooth taste fool you. You will get up in their accounting business. You will say, well, you didn't do this, and this isn't adding up over here. And
yes, I am looking at all areas of the operation. I want to help them grow as an organization. My specialty is business development. I'm a biz dev person. I like to say I'm a unicorn. I go in places where no one else will go in the organization and grow the company, because my motto is nothing happens until you sell something. I make sure we sell something.
wow.
That's one of the things that I'm passionate about, growth in an organization.
Give me a success story.
Oh, so there's many. One of which I can tell you about is going into a new market. We had an organization that wanted to expand into Philadelphia. Now, Baltimore is very different than Philadelphia in a million ways, right? Philadelphia is more about meeting the right people, almost kissing the ring in Philadelphia. So I go into new markets with this organization, understand the key players. Where do they need to be? Not where they are, but where do they need to be as an organization? Explaining the vision of this organization. I believe in servant leadership, and I think there has to be a philanthropic arm to your organization. So helping that market understand, how are we going to help the community, not just show up and do business, but what are we giving back to the community? So that's part of the goal. Many times in Philadelphia, we got pushback. We didn't understand who the key players were, what the product service line should be there. But soon we learned, just through those meetings, we increased growth over 200%, new markets, which led to more business in the Pennsylvania market, because every county, every area of Pennsylvania is very different from Philadelphia.
So we have a gentleman who's a supporter, a sponsor of this network, Bishop Barry Chapman, and he has Bishop Barry Pest Control. And he gets more business, MBE certified. He gets more business from Philadelphia than he does from Baltimore. And he often brags about Philadelphia. He does say it's all about relationships. One thing I've noticed is that Philadelphia, to me, is similar to Brooklyn, New York,
Yes.
where Harlem is tourist, open, welcoming. Brooklyn is like Baltimore. In Philadelphia, it's what Brooklyn to me and Philly have in common is that they're, I guess, insulated.
They are.
You have to
Yes,
know
they are.
somebody to know somebody to get inside the doors. Now, once you get in the doors, it's gravy, but they're real tight knit.
They're real tight knit, and you need to have an investment in that community, at least 2 years minimum to get to where you need to be in a market. Philadelphia is very distinct that way. It's a lot of people that are homegrown that have never left the area, and they're gatekeepers. They want to know what's your business, how, again, you're going to benefit the community, and can we trust you? Can we trust the work that you're going to do in this market? Because they're sort of leading you into the market.
It's interesting you mentioned gatekeepers. I'm working on this article about DEI. We talk about Trump and Vance and their childish, petty ways about DEI. Question, Sherretta. Are we practicing DEI in our own community?
Yes, we are. And
Is there
sometimes,
so?
absolutely, we are making sure that every voice is heard. And there's often, I know where you're going with this. Sometimes that does not
Black
happen.
gatekeepers.
Yes, the gatekeepers.
Black people, you help them get elected, and then the Negro don't know you no more.
Well, you're
Don't make me
you're
call
looking-
names. I got a whole list of names.
Listen, it is sometimes that way. The agenda. Are you on the agenda? So these are
Why?
things that you work out. You work out these things before you get the person elected.
No. Everybody changes in one way or another once they get elected. Everybody is either for the better or for the worse. But that's who they were all along.
That's true. It brings out more of who you are. And I can appreciate what you're saying. People, sometimes they get busy, their agenda changes, and then they surround themselves with people that may not be the people that got them to that role.
Off brands.
Yes. The need changes. What you do to get there is not always what you do to get to the next level. But we have to find where we fit in, and we have to elevate. As we elevate others in that servant leadership,
That's
we
the
have
part
to elevate.
right there.
Yes.
Let me tell you something else, and I've seen it with some of these young politicians. They get rid of people over 50.
Yes, it's true.
What the hell is that all about? These are the same people that put you on 20 years ago, and they pushing them right on out the door. Are we practicing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, inside the Black community?
Sometimes is the answer to that. But there's always a need for education around what DEI means and what other people bring to the table.
I think it's a need to take them out back to the woodshed and give them a good old East Baltimore hind parts whipping.
Okay.
Because look, we
I
are
know.
60% of the population.
We are.
What do we own in Baltimore?
This is a good question. We have to be owners. We believe in ownership. If it's a business, I grew up in a neighborhood where there were corner stores, and that gave me interest in ownership. I wanted to know what they were doing in the community, why they were there, and how they were making money from people in the community. So we have to practice ownership. That's one of the greatest ways.
I worked at
And
a corner store. Go
you
ahead.
did, okay. That's one of the greatest things growing up, having access. You know, there's food insecurity today. They don't have some of the corner stores that we had growing up.
Because we sold them. We sold them to the Koreans. The Jews sold them to the blacks after 68 riots. And then blacks, once we moved to Randallstown and Towson, we said, you know, I'm tired of making that trek down Liberty Road, down Green Mount, down York Road, out Eastern Avenue. We're going to sell it to Kim Song Il.
True. And it never came to
Now the
fruition.
Koreans that got bougie, and they just sold it to the Arabs.
Right. It's true.
Now you
So
got
we have to get
Yemenis,
back to some of that.
Afghanistanis. I mean, we got Afghanistan right here.
Well, DEI, we want to hear all voices. Everyone has a place in the community. You know this. This is what we do. It takes all of us to build a community. But the people in the underserved communities, we need to be involved. We need to have ownership as well. It's a renaissance happening. We're coming back. We're opening coffee shops. You know, the city looks very different today than it did when we were growing up.
But do
we want a yoga studio?
Are we
Are you doing yoga? Are you doing yoga?
Every time this German Shepherd dragged me out the front door, I feel like I'm in a kneel position.
Okay, so our communities look different. We want to be able to.
No, I haven't put on the yoga pants yet.
Okay, so we want to do meditation in the morning. We want to walk a block away. We want to do dinner in the neighborhood, but this has to be ownership that includes us. We see this happening. The time is now. The Renaissance is happening. We have to be involved. We have to practice ownership and figure out what you're passionate about. What do you want to do in the community? How will you give back? Will that be mentorship for someone else to start up a business in the community? But this is how we stay involved and we grow in this new era of what the city looks like. We need to be included.
So tell us a little more about your business.
So STL Global is a strategic planning organization. We also have a tech arm. We are helping organizations realize their dreams and their potential. This means that we do retreats. We help them with planning and business development. Growth is a major pillar in our organization. We're helping them develop metrics that they need to track annually, monthly, understanding who their target market is. That's very important. Today, marketing is very different. We have social media. So that's a different arm of the business, making sure AI is incorporated into your organization to help you do things faster and smarter. And also quantum computing. We're looking at what are the needs there? How do we secure that organization as you become more into technology? And making sure that your stack is secure, it's doing what you need it to do within your organization. And we're hitting all the pain points in our organization, making sure that the things that keep them up at night are resolved.
Tell me about the significance of being a Western dove.
Oh, wow. You know, I saw about 10 doves yesterday. And it's a community. It really is. These are women that you understand when you meet them that they have a certain quality that they were taught as very young women. And we were all taught how to be professional as young women. And it stuck with us. There's so many alumni that we could go through the list that have done great things here in the community and beyond. It's a sisterhood. And I love being a dove. That's one of the things that I say, and people say, oh my gosh, you went to Western. And it explains everything about me. So I get that. They often go, oh, that's why.
That's a different neighborhood than East Baltimore.
It's a little different, yes. Adjacent to Poly, you know a little thing about Poly, right?
That's up there in Hamden.
True. Yes.
So we had
My
to go
stomping
through.
grounds, I call it.
Huh?
My stomping grounds, I call it.
You know, it's much blacker today. Did you know that black people used to live in Cross Keys in the late 1800s?
Interesting fact. Yes. Yes.
I've learned
It is very different now.
Morgan Park, Wilson Park, Hose Heights.
Okay.
There were small black communities in that part of town. Of course, Baltimore is the home of segregation. But let's get back to your business. You, as a strategic strategy officer at STL Global, Sherretta spearheads initiatives that empower businesses and nonprofits to leverage technology, expand into new markets, and strengthen their internal structures. Her expertise is best practices, operational efficiencies, and financial controls, which is transform organizations from the ground up. What does that mean?
That is, in simple terms, it means we reverse engineer the operations of the organization, basically looking at the growth model. We want to know, okay, how did you get here? How do we get you to the next level in your goal set? Understanding how it works. So after we reverse engineer it, we build it up the way that it was intended to work. Sometimes when an organization is having a growth spurt, things are very out of sorts. They're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. Let's back up a minute, make sure that we're all in alignment as we grow, because you don't want any hiccups to disrupt the growth that's happening in the organization. So we help with managing that growth and also making sure the growth happens, whether that's planning who you should meet with, what opportunities you should go after. It takes the same amount of energy to go after a small opportunity as it does to take on $1 million or even $1 billion opportunities. I've worked with clients.
I need you to back up. What'd you just say?
It takes the same amount of energy to go after a small opportunity as it does to go after a large multi-million, even billion-dollar opportunity. You can find that same.
Do we get that as a people?
Sometimes we don't. We operate from a position of lack. We don't know that there's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of opportunity. You're in the same conference and person A is meeting opportunities that lead them to that $1 billion opportunity eventually as you partner and prove your value to the organization. Then another person may be looking at it differently. Oh, I just want whatever you can give me. I'm just looking for an opportunity. So it's going to take you the same amount of energy to go after that. Everybody's going to want your capability statement. Everyone's going to want to network and get to know you. Why not go after the larger opportunities?
Why don't
we get there faster? That's
so
important.
I guess sometimes when you come in, people don't want to see you coming because it's like you're the homework checker. Did you do your homework?
I'm a bit of a disruptor. Just a little bit.
But you can't effectively do your job without that at times.
You have to be a disruptor. You have to be very thick-skinned. You have to let things roll off like water off a duck's back, right?
Because change is difficult.
It is. And you have to be mission focused. Nothing comes between you and the mission. People come and go. So you deal with those as they arise, but nothing keeps you from accomplishing that mission. And it's an iterative process. You try it. If it doesn't work, you improve it. You keep going until you reach that goal. And that's what I'm there to do, to let them know it's okay. That worked almost, but now we're going to tweak it and we're going to make it better. And this time you will get it done. it's a learning process and a very educational process for the organization. You make sure you include training while you're doing this so that you can bring your people along as the organization grows, making sure that's important, that they have a growth mindset and that they're not in the mindset of, well, this isn't how we did it last year.
Tell me about the success of a Chew Smith.
Oh wow, what an amazing opportunity for Baltimore and the 52 cities that he's going to take this opportunity.
I tried to tell him, isn't that humongous?
That you have to listen, if your dreams aren't big and they don't scare you, you are doing it wrong. Your dreams have to frighten you and just wake you up out of your sleep like, I need to do something today. I need to make something happen. So I can appreciate a big dream and a big vision. He's a visionary. He's one of our visionaries in the community.
He's worked on that thing for at least 16 years.
16 years. That's how you know. That's how you know it is something that will happen when someone is committed to something for so long. And partly because there's people, like we said, that have helped us along the way. It is our duty to help others, to mentor people in the community.
You get it. I get it. But do we really get that part? Because we can be really tight-fisted, really stingy.
We can. But if you have a family, if you understand that this is important for your children or their children, then you stay committed to what will happen in the future. You give where you can, whether it's mentorship, money, resources, connections, partnerships, collaboration. The next time that person says, you know, I'm just trying to figure this out. Can you help me? Can you help me understand how you did it? Take a minute, speak to them, give them a nugget or two. You won't do it all in one session, but have coffee with them. Help them understand how you were able to be the media mogul that you are today. And this will inspire someone else who will then inspire someone else.
I'm just a child of God trying to make a difference. Straight off of North Avenue.
A humble child of God.
Life, and if we don't be humble, life will humble us.
This is true.
We're put here to serve. They say service is the rent we pay for living.
It is.
I don't think I learned that at Poly, but I'm sure I learned it somewhere along the way that service is the rent we pay for living.
It is.
You think of Dr. King, you think of Harriet Tubman, you think of people who made the sacrifice. She risked her freedom. He risked his life. And then they took his life, only for a whole new generation of village idiots to now run this country. So, Baltimore, business. We mentioned Philadelphia. What other cities do you deal with?
New York, of course. New Jersey. DC. That's a big one. That's a big one. DC is huge. It's very important that we tap into those resources in that market. Exceptional opportunities in that market. And also you break it down by county. As we know, it's very different to do work in Prince George's County as it is in Montgomery County, for example. You have to have a business strategy
One's black,
for every location.
and one's white.
True.
Generally speaking.
That's true. That's true.
Matter of fact, I don't feel all that damn comfortable in Montgomery County. I tell you, it reminds me of
No. It's Maryland. It's very diverse, but you're still in Maryland.
That feel like Trump country.
Okay.
See, Maryland talk all of that Democrat thing. These people act like Trumpsters to me. I don't know what Democratic Party they in. Just like these evangelicals, I don't know what God they serve.
It's an interesting dynamic. And it is about access and feeling welcome. It truly is. I when I'm in Montgomery County, I'll drive by a place, for example, the Olney Theater there, and just never went in and saw a show until a friend joined the board and invited me, and I felt invited and I felt welcome. It's just access, understanding that these are places in the community that everyone is welcome to attend. And we have to do a better job at that. Organizations struggle with branding and outreach. These are things that we are helping people understand. How are you branding this organization? If you want to go into new markets, have a diverse customer base, what are you doing to achieve that? Are you reaching out? Are you where they are, letting them know that you're welcome and we invite you to attend? These are the things that we have to do. Even churches, we drive by and we don't know that this is an opportunity for me to meet more people active in this congregation. You have to feel welcome and you want to be a part. Then you want to be a part of that community.
Are you proud of Baltimore?
I'm very proud of Baltimore.
Why?
It produced me. I'm very proud of Baltimore, and I see the potential. I have the opportunity on some projects to be really on the ground, understanding the needs of the community. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful to see how people work together, collaborate. They're building something very instrumental, and I'm very happy to be a part of that.
How do we pass on entrepreneurship to our children?
Early. Everything you do with your kids, it has to be early. Helping them understand how is mom and dad doing this? How are they sustaining businesses? Teaching them, bringing them into the fold, understanding I'm working long hours, but here's why. Let me bring you in and teach you what I do. Sometimes they're not that interested, but finding their passion, helping them understand what they're really good at, and they can turn a paycheck into a purpose. Helping them understand that. It will take them a long way. It teaches them the fundamentals. And then you have to help them learn to create a budget, a checklist. Are you putting timelines on that checklist, assigning them to people, places, other vendors? How are you going to accomplish that goal? Never let your child just say, I want to do this, and don't give them the tools or some of the best practices to get there. We love a dreamer, but they have to have someone that can help them execute, show them the way. And with our children, if we do that early, it's okay to fail. Fail often, fail forward, but keep doing it until you succeed.
Give me 3 things you would recommend to our Black legacy organizations. I've seen, whether it's Little League Baseball, whether it's sorority, whether it's a treatment center. What is it about us that we need to tighten up? Like in 1 or 2 Black colleges, universities, we find that people don't want to pass the ball. They want to be supreme grand potentate for like 62 years. It's like, are you ever going to pass the ball unless somebody else in?
Yes, change is inevitable, right?
No, sometimes we stay too long. It
takes too long. Well, I would, my advice to all those types of organizations is network.
I'm gonna give it to you. Mark Morial has been the CEO of the National Urban League for 20 years. Are you ever gonna pass the ball, bro? I'm just asking. He's
very respected, and he has networks and relationships.
He has 40 million Black people. He ain't the only one who's respected.
But it's the relationships. This is a man that has sat before presidents and had conversations. It's all about the rooms that you're in.
You ain't gonna
that
give
give you
nobody else a
access.
shot. So nobody else can do
Well,
that
he's a
job.
resource. He's a resource.
Huh?
Eventually, he will pass the torch.
Eventually,
Eventually. But people are comfortable with him. They've worked with him. They know his track
I'm
record.
not
And
comfortable with somebody. You've
he's
been
a
in the
trusted
same
partner.
post 20 years and you ain't never passed the damn ball. That's a ball hawk. You play
And you don't
basketball,
think
you from East Baltimore. He
okay.
ain't never passing the ball.
He's probably mentoring someone. Or maybe he's looking for that next person to sit in his seat.
What year?
That's not easy. That's not easy to do.
NAACP. I'm putting it out there. They got a 64-member board. You the guru. Now I ain't trying to get you in no trouble, but come on. 64.
I love it. 64 people. I can do a lot with 64 board members. However, I get what you're saying. Do we need that much?
How long does it take to make a decision?
I think it's about network and reach.
I think it's about some black people need to pass the ball to their son, their daughter, their neighbor, their cousin. There's this one position that few people are aware of. It's to be a delegate in the Democratic National Convention. The Republicans have it too. It's a position you run for. I think you get 5 or 6 people. No one really knows about it. But you'd be surprised at who does know about it and who goes after it. And it's like, what's this all about? And then people who have been doing the work never get into it.
That's an important role. People don't know about that significant role in the election process. And the more people that are involved, maybe they have an opportunity to share with the community what they do, their role, how significant it is, and what an electoral vote is. This is something that we need to pass on to the community. And that
we don't even talk about the Electoral College.
No, we don't. And we should. We should educate our kids, our seniors, everyone about this process so that they understand how many we have, how it works, what these delegates do, and writing letters to them, making them understand what your position is, what you believe in, and what you want to see happen in your community. It's
sometimes we hear from these politicians is an election year.
Listen, they are on the ground doing the work.
And that's how a Michael Steele and a Bob Ehrlich won in 2002, because people were tired of the Democrats. Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, she walked around real privileged, really like a Karen with that bad hairdo. It was a bad hairdo. I mean, it was
I've had the privilege to work with her on the Civic Works board, and she's amazing. She's giving back to the community in many ways that
the community gave
many of us admire. I understand your position.
She said, "I'm not my father. I'm not my uncle," and she turned around and went out that door. And then she got an overnight Republican. But what I'm getting to is, since she did that faux pas, that blunder, we then got a Republican. And Coppin State got more money than it ever got before. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting.
That's true. You have to modify the strategy and pivot. You must.
Baltimore and Prince George's work together like never before.
It's true.
That's the secret sauce. Randallstown, Baltimore City, Prince George's County. I just gave it to you.
Okay. I like that model. Lots of work being done in many of those organizations. It is about collaboration. It is. And some of the communities you name, there's Black wealth in those communities. I attended an event the other day, and if you look at the numbers, what can we do together? There's millionaires in the room, but what can we do together? How can we collaborate to make our communities better?
When Martin O'Malley was governor, he shoved table gambling down our throats.
Yes.
They promise money for education. Maryland Stadium Authority runs the stadiums. They also run school construction. We have a renovated Raven Stadium and the Camden Yards, but we have high schools in Baltimore City in 2025 without air or heat, including school up there on Cold Spring and Falls Road.
This is a fact, and this is the model of 21st century schools. They know that these problems exist, and there's a model in place to work towards the fix. We're only at the beginning. We're doing this work brick by brick, and it will take some time. The question is, will it be in your lifetime or my lifetime? That's the question.
Sherretta, I watched North and Charles, North Avenue, Charles Street. That right there. Everybody know where it is. Odell's right over there, KFC up the block. I watched that neighborhood get transformed damn near overnight.
It's true. You see things that you didn't see.
White people.
Yes, it's true.
Having fun.
That's reverse DEI, right?
Right there in the heart of North Avenue.
I know, walking their dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we see in cities across America. It's a beautiful thing to see people coming back to the city. The question is, will we, as the minority community, have a seat at the table and partake in this renaissance we keep talking about? It's happening. We have to be at the table. We have to open the businesses that people walk their dogs to. They might need a pet grooming store. Think about the business model of what's happening in the city.
We're going to run you for mayor. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I know.
You ready for that?
I am not.
You said,
I am not. I vote you run for mayor. You've helped so many people over the years. I know you know the blueprint. Tell us the blueprint.
No, I'd end up pushing some people in the harbor.
Oh, no.
You, and you do.
No.
Push them right in the harbor.
You say that, but you love people. You wouldn't do it.
We're so stingy. The people who could help, you end up getting help from the darndest sources from people. And it's really not about black, white, Asian, Jew, Gentile. It's about people. It's about love. I tell you, I do admire City College, the owner of the Orioles, how he has brought together city alumni, including Kurt Schmoke, former mayor, to make the Orioles better. I have not been really an Orioles.
David is doing an amazing job. It's phenomenal.
With David Rubin's thing.
Yes.
I've really not been into the O's since they won back when I was in high school. I remember how they treated Reggie Jackson. They didn't want to pay him. He went to New York Steinbrenner. They paid him, and he became Mr. October. He had 3 home runs in 1 World Series game. I remember the Orioles had Al Bunbury, Paul Blair, Ken Singleton, Lee May, Elrod Hendricks. Brooks Robinson was one of the nicest white people I had ever met at the time.
Yes, and you know, it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that. And do you have season tickets?
No, I like the Yankees.
Okay. Oh, you like the Yankees? Okay.
Yeah. Ever since they treated Reggie Jackson, he couldn't even get housing. Like Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson almost did not play in Baltimore because Baltimore is the home of segregation. So, and then, you know, I fell in love with that Yankee blue. I could get with the Orioles, but they ain't had no damn black players in a majority black city. I don't understand that. You understand marketing. Why you ain't got no African-American players? Not one, not two. Come on, man. Teams that embrace blackness win. Look at the Kansas City.
It starts with Little League. It starts with introducing our children to baseball. right? We need our fathers to introduce our sons to and daughters to baseball and help them understand there's a business model there. It will help you get through college and beyond. And I know some great things that the Orioles are doing in the community. They've adopted schools. They provide
They need
anything
to get
and
more proactive.
everything the principals need for some of these schools
They
in underserved
need
communities.
you
And they
to
show
help.
and they show up. The players show up to these schools. I've seen it with my own eyes.
We don't even know their names. I don't know their names. I used to know all of them. Had baseball cards. Earl Weaver. Earl. That's Baltimore. Boom. Real people. See, when we were on 33rd Street, everybody was together. It was communal. But then, somebody got a bright idea. We're going to take this down to the harbor. We're going to make this more corporate. Sell $17 hot dogs. Come on, man. That ain't 33rd. I am old school, 33rd Street. No fights. Blacks, whites, everybody together, no problem. 33rd
I have fond
Street.
memories. Fond memories. Yes, fond memories. It's interesting because the plan is to have potentially a sports park in that area. Think about what that would do for the city.
And what's his name? One of them, whoever they took Baltimore off of the Orioles, just the Orioles. When I watch these football games and you hear these other out of town commentators talk about the Baltimore Ravens, there's always this underlying thing like they really want to say something slick out their mouth about Baltimore, something negative.
There's good and bad. We focus on the good.
They hate on us.
Many of them love Baltimore.
No, they don't.
When's the last time
I listen to them?
You attended a game? Do you see the passion that the fans have for these
I'm talking
teams?
about them commentators. Some of them commentators need to be taken out back too. Come here talking slick about Baltimore.
You don't like
Palmer Court somewhere. Drop them off down Flag Projects.
This is why you need to be mayor.
Ooh, me?
This is why, yes, so that you can have this voice heard and people can understand your position. I think you have valid points. I don't agree with all of them, but you have valid points, and these voices should be heard. Many people feel like that.
You ain't pushing me out there. They done tried that. We go on Be More News and DM Global Marketing and Public Relations. But we do like elected officials who stand up for the community, like a Marilyn Mosby. People don't realize this is 10 years since Freddie Gray. She charged cops. She held cops accountable. Now, I didn't agree with the 3 black cops being thrown out there and going to court first. Everybody saw them white cops put their knee in their kids' back. Everybody. Then all of a sudden, the videotapes disappear. So we still got some corrupt cops.
It's true. And all across America, that incited so much activity from corporate America to invest in communities. These are things that we've known happen in the community. However, it didn't have a face. It didn't have a voice. And now people understand that that is part of what's going on. It drove a lot of impact and investment in the community from many, many corporations. That was a great outcome from something so tragic and something we'll, quite frankly, never forget.
Sherretta, I want you to take a minute and take this opportunity to tell people why they need to hire your firm. We're going to do a commercial from top to bottom. You ready? Because I don't want to say I talk too much on here. I think I done.
You are a blessing. So I want everyone to know that STO Global is a partner in the community to help organizations collaborate, reach their goals. Growth is important. Our strategies are far-reaching. We make sure that you understand the impact on the community at the same time, being a good steward, and also driving the revenue that you want in your organization. We look forward to assisting and helping organizations grow and reach their full potential.
Pretty good. Do you mentor?
I do. You know, along the way, I've had mentors, champions, sponsors. You know, mentors help you, they kind of tell you and help you find your why. Champions are those people that give you more information on how to do it. They help you and push you along the way. And sponsors are those people that are giving you a seat at the table and opportunity. They really see the potential in what you can do, and they invite you in. So I've had all of those over the years, and I call them angels along the way. And I, like you said, I never forget that. And I always make sure they're taken care of.
How come you didn't move elsewhere?
My family's here. I'm a family girl. I love my family. And I have not considered living abroad. I've been around the world, and I just haven't found a place that feels like home more than Maryland.
Can you make a crab cake?
I can.
We
I am
don't
more
crab
of
cake.
a,
We don't want no, look, well, throw it back at you.
I can make a crab cake. No breading.
Crackers
all
or breadcrumbs? Which one? Crackers or breadcrumbs?
You know, I like crackers, but I like lump crab meat. I make a sauce, and it's, you know, very simple. You know, you have the mayo, Old Bay, and lots of crab meat. I get it. I'm a crab cake snob, okay? When I travel, I do not order seafood. I know, I know what's at home. I can wait until I get back home.
It make you mad talking about this a
The
crab
good stuff
cake.
is at home.
Do you remember codfish cakes, coddies?
I do. Not a big fan, but I remember those.
They used to sell them at the corner store, crackers and mustard.
Yeah, they did.
Only in Baltimore.
Only in Baltimore. Oh my goodness. So many things that they sold at that corner store.
What have we not covered? You're not going to be leaning on me. Say, well, you know, we didn't cover this. What didn't we cover today, Sherretta?
Ooh, so we covered a lot. Let's see. Is there anything we didn't cover? We talked about politics. We talked about corporate America. We talked about the community, mentorship. All of these things are important. I think we covered it all. You know, you're good at your job.
Well, give me a little bit more on, we got a minute, on making a sale. You said it takes the same energy. I mean, this might be a nugget that we all could benefit from. Tell me a little bit more about the effort that goes into a small sale versus a big sale. I mean, because I'm thinking right now that maybe this price tag that I gave one client, maybe I should go up even higher. But I also don't want to be greedy, because I like that long-term money. And I think if you get them one time too much, they might not ever call you again.
So what if you deliver on your promises? What if you over deliver on your promises? Will they call you again based on that price tag you're talking about? Yes, they will. We all have to know our value and our worth. That's very important. Not only that, the thing that I'd like to leave you with is that those bigger opportunities lead to more opportunities of that size. The smaller opportunities lead to more opportunities of that size. Now we're talking past performance. You've proven you have a track record, whether it's fundraising or business development. You are showing that I can do this with that. And if you do it with a larger number, now you're in the game. Now you can demand that you have a seat at those tables because you have past performance. You've proven that you can work at that level. There's levels to everything. And if you prove that you're now a player in this arena, you are going to do well.
Sherretta,
you cannot win.
I'm sorry.
Yes. You cannot win if you're not in the arena.
Can you put your comment in, I guess, the private chat, and I can, is there a website we want to plug?
It
Or
is
phone number? How can people reach you?
Sure. So you can reach me at www.strategictalentedleaders.com. Again, that's www.strategictalentedleaders.com. It's always a pleasure to chat with one of the greats.
Oh, I'm just a squirrel in the world trying to get an acorn. Strategictalentedleaders.com. That's it right there.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
And I remember it all started with the email list way back when. You had the very best email list ever.
Don't tell them too much. Some people don't think emails work anymore. And I think some get emails, some get social media. Not everybody likes the same social media.
Well, you do know that you were doing social media before social media was invented, right? You do know that. You are one of the fathers of social media and connecting people. We didn't know what you were doing, but you knew that this is how you get this done. You connect people, you build a database of followers. You had followers before there was a like button.
I would have to acknowledge Michael Preston at the Empowerment Zone, Diane Bell McCoy at the Empowerment Zone, and my dad, who got me my first computer.
Amazing.
You have mail.
Yes. You were sold.
You have mail. I'll just cut it on. Sherretta, thank you so much.
We love you,
Big ups to
Doni.
Weston Doves. We love Weston.
Thank you for having me.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I will. You too.
Good morning, world.
Good morning.